What's going on YouTube? So today, really quick video on how to make your 4L60 or 4L65, 4L70. They're all basically the same setup. Reliable for about $100. These trannies have a really bad rep for being unreliable. But people don't do these couple of basic things to really help them out. In stock form, I agree, they're not really that reliable. Is second gear weak? Yeah. Is third gear weak? Yeah. Is fourth gear weak? Yeah. Every gear is weak in stock form. You have to up the line pressure and put a Corvette servo in it. Two very simple things, and it's been holding my 500 horse reliably for many, many years. This truck runs 13 seconds in the quarter and probably makes about 550 foot-pounds as well. All-wheel drive, a lot of torque on that transmission. Torque is hard on trannies, that's what actually wrecks them. And this blower makes a lot of torque low in the RPM range. If this transmission survived the last 5 years, yours will too with these couple of mods. This is the stock 2/4 shift servo. It applies second gear and fourth gear through the band in the transmission. It's not a time shift, so you can install one of these out of a Corvette. And all it is a bigger diaphragm, which allows more fluid pressure to push on the backside, push on that band, apply it faster, and have more clamping power once it's in gear, more holding power, and that's what you want. And because it's not a time shift, basically just apply it as hard and as firm as you can, and that's gonna keep it more reliable. And we're gonna up the line pressure as well on top of this. When you get the servo out, you'll have to transfer the pin to the new unit, but that's just a couple of clips and relatively easy to do. All right, so really quick, this is the easiest way to raise your line pressure. This is going to be through EFI Live tuning, and you guys should feel really privileged because not many people share personal tune files. So you can see this is my LQ9 6 liter. It comes up as a 4L60E, even though it is a 4L65, but that's all right. That just shows you how interchangeable they are. So we're going to go into transmission calibration, transmission pressure, and the easiest way to do this, force motor current. So this table is relatively simple. You can see the predicted torque on the left table there and transmission fluid pressure on the top. And this is basically just the current or amperage that you're sending to that pressure control solenoid in the valve body. So if you come up here, this basically just gives you a rundown. Yeah, you're controlling the current, the amps, and that is basically adjusting your pressure between 55 and 230 psi. A lower value in this table, less current, is going to be higher pressure. So when you're modifying this, you're going to want to lower the voltage. So they do this because if you have an issue with that pressure control solenoid, say you had a broken wire or something, it's going to default to max pressure and you can still make it home. So you could copy and paste this table if you guys wanted. It works really well. I've been running this exact pressure table for many years, 0 issues, and that's pushing about 500 horse. So this works. And there's one more way you can adjust line pressure as well. So this table affects total line pressure. This affects all 4 gears. If you wanted to do some more fine tuning, you can select each individual gear. So 1-2 shift, 2-3, 3-4, and you could tweak these a little bit just for a little more fine tuning. But honestly, these tables don't really get touched much when you look at pro tuners. They just go straight to this table and change the line pressure for all 4 gears together. And just a quick story about these servos. to let you know how good they actually work. So my transmission was completely stock. I slapped this blower on it and took it for a test drive. And the very first pull, it slipped second gear immediately. I didn't really know if it was a slip at first, so I tried it one more time and it slipped really bad the second time. So yep, it slipped. Okay, this isn't good. Ordered a servo, put the servo in, and it's been perfect ever since. It's never slipped again. I've even upped the boost pressure more with a smaller pulley, and it's still good, especially after glazing a band like that. Once clutch material glazes a certain amount, it loses clamping force as well. So these servos are amazing, and they only cost like 40 bucks. They're super cheap. Even on stock applications, if you don't do anything else, do the servo. You can't get more reliability for the price. That is an absolute must. So to up the line pressure, there's two ways you can do it. Cheap way, manually through the valve body, and I'll show you that. And we can also do it electronically through a tune in the TCM. So that's gonna be your easiest way to modify line pressure. And if you're tuning the truck already, it really doesn't take any more effort to add line pressure through the tune. But if you're a stock guy that's just trying to make a tranny reliable, you're not going for more power, I'll show you how to do it manually, and you can save 500 bucks on a tune. All you have to do is drop the oil pan. So you're gonna have to do a half tranny service. You'll need 6 liters of ATF maybe, 7 on the high side. The only downside to this method is you have to put transmission fluid back in the vehicle, put the pan back on, and go road test it to feel how firm your shifts are. So you're kind of taking a bit of a guess. I've had good luck with a half turn on that adjustment screw. Just for some context here, this is the pressure control solenoid I'm talking about, and this is the adjustment right in the center. It's just a little Torx bit. So yeah, make sure you mark it, or make sure you're paying attention when you turn it, because there's no way to really tell where that is positioned. That firms up the shifts quite nicely, and it's not too harsh. If you go more than that, you kind of risk having a harsh shift, not a firm shift. And if you don't go far enough, you might not make too much of a difference. So half a turn, that's kind of the sweet spot I find. Don't worry, I'm not leaving you high and dry. So I'll show you where the pressure control solenoid lives. So here's a good picture of the transmission. You can see it's upside down. Bell housing's up front here, output shaft at the back. This right here, that's the pressure control solenoid. So as you can see, it's gonna be hard to get to the center of that adjustment. You're gonna have to pop these 3 10mm fasteners off of this accumulator right here. And you can just move that out of the way, and then your pressure control adjustment is right behind that. And don't worry, you can just reinstall this accumulator after. There's no big deal there. You don't have to replace any of the paper gasket, nothing like that. To install this Corvette servo, you don't have to take the tranny out. It's super slick. We can do it at the side of the transmission. I'm gonna hop under and show you what to do. So we're under the transmission here. I'm sorry, it's kind of tight clearance. Hopefully you guys can get a good viewpoint of where we are. This is the front of the transmission, dipstick tube right here you can see. And this guy, that little clip and circle unit, that is the 2.4 servo. So you can see I just had to make a small dimple in the body or the cab up here, just for enough clearance for that servo pin to come out. And all you have to do is push on the center of that servo, and it's going to push into the transmission, and you can take that metal clip out there, and then the servo is going to have tension on it. It's going to want to come out, but there's a couple of O-ring seals, and you'll need a pick to get those O-ring seals out. And then the whole unit literally just falls out. All you have to do is that little indentation on the cab. And that may differ from year to year as well. This truck's an 05. you might not have to tweak the cab on all vehicles. I know the lighting and stuff wasn't great under there. If you guys have any questions, you can always DM me too. I try and answer everyone as quickly as possible. I do check comments quite regularly. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and got some value out of it. I even shared my secret sauce tunes with you. So you should feel pretty privileged. Not a lot of people share tuning info like that. But like always guys, thanks for watching and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.